This never happened, and many years later, she found herself as a garment worker in Los Angeles, sewing behind barbed wire and under armed guard. And we at the Asian Pacific American Legal Center represented Suchadol and the other workers who were held in this situation and filed a lawsuit that is widely recognized as the catalyst for the modern day anti-sweatshop movement. We also represented a group of Chinese garment workers whose time cards were falsified to show fewer hours than they actually worked. And then their signatures were forged on these false time cards. And when I first met these workers, they said that they felt tremendous pressure to put their heads down and to say nothing. And that it was somehow unseemly for them to complain about whatever opportunities they'd already been given in America. And we represented these workers, and we hired a handwriting expert, and we ended up winning a judgment of $1.4 million on behalf of these 7 workers. And so what the lessons of my work have taught me is that it's really important for Chinese Americans, for Asian Americans, to have a voice and to feel like we can exert that voice. And we regularly have to overcome our own client's sense that it's better not to have your voice heard, or at least not to be too loud. But in our work with them, our clients end up speaking to the media and even on national TV, and really learning, as I did, not just the power of their own story, but the thrill of engaging in an effort to transform the world. And so I'll just close by saying, today my parents actually help translate for me. They come to meetings with Chinese workers or defrauded consumers, and they coach me on how to say terms like race-based exploitation or unconstitutional in Mandarin, and they help to make me a better advocate. And in a twist that I think none of us ever expected, they now encourage my children to speak up as loudly as they are able.
Congratulations. Yeah, well done. Well, Steve Chen is now probably, can I say, the most recognized face, one of the most recognized faces in the, as soon as the word internet videos is mentioned. YouTube, amazingly, a video sharing website was started by Steve in May of 2005, only 3 years ago. And by July of 2006, the company revealed that more than 100 million videos were being watched every day. That's in a year's time. And 2.5 billion videos were watched in June of 2006. 50,000 videos were being added per day in May of 2006. And this increased by 65,000 by July. By the end of 2006, the company was sold to Google for $1.65 billion. So Steve, you obviously are one of I'm so proud that you are one of our Chinese American heroes of the 21st century, no doubt about it. Can you tell us what is the creative process in making the breakthrough with YouTube? How was it that you beat out Google Video? Was there a race involved in your mind? Or was this something that you had envisioned right from the beginning when you were working for PayPal?
Sure. Well, I think it's a good point to bring up PayPal, which was where I started working before. It was the first time I went to Silicon Valley. It was the first time that I saw what a web company needed to do to actually be successful. It was the first time where I saw a group of 20 people creating and fulfilling all the different responsibilities and needs of a company. Straight out of college, I went to PayPal back in 1999, and PayPal at the time was trying to compete with all the large credit card companies, all the different other forms of sort of money transaction services out there. And it was just a very fun and fulfilling experience to be able to go through that and to know that, to be able to see what 20 people, and as it started to grow slowly over time, what 100 people can actually do when it was trying to face the challenges of competing with some of the largest companies out there that were doing sort of money exchanges. And a lot of that learning was taken onto YouTube. In fact, we probably took most of the engineers and product managers and most of the original PayPal team onto YouTube when we started. But I think that the great thing about with starting with YouTube's, we've always hated being labeled with either as entrepreneurs or a Web 2.0 company, or definitely the label of genius. I think it was really just to try to solve a simple problem, which is how do you share videos online? That we started seeing that everybody had these digital cameras, and it was reaching, the price point was reaching under $200. Everybody had a digital camera. People had, and it's sort of everything fell into place back in 2005 when we first started YouTube. It was digital cameras became pretty much everybody had one. Everybody had the ability to be able to take a video, right? But at the same time, you can share these photos that you take with these digital cameras just about anywhere. You can email them, you can put them online. But when it comes to the videos, most of these videos they just stay on people's computers. There was no way to share these videos with one another. They're just too big to email back and forth. And then you have these problems with, if it's a Windows Media Player or QuickTime Player, all the different incompatible codecs out there to be able to try to share these videos. And we thought that, this is back in 2005 when we started YouTube, that it really was going to be a more and more increasingly problematic for people as more people had bought digital cameras, as more people got online and had broadband connections, not just in the US, but across the world, and as more people wanted to share these videos with other people they knew, friends and family, as well as sort of the entire sort of wider public. We wanted to create just the simplest way to share these videos. And I guess you can look back and see that the sharp ascent, in many ways, if you look at the growth curve of YouTube, it was the fastest growing company in the history of the internet. The sharpest growth in terms of both users, traffic, and ultimately, sort of acquisition. It was the sharpest ascent in terms of acquisition price of any company out there. And I think that really goes out to, it's not so much that I think we did anything spectacular, but I think it was really just trying to identify the problem that existed and trying to come up with the solution. And we weren't really the first guys to ever create a video sharing site. There have been plenty of other video sharing sites before 2005, but I think that the catalyst for our success was really timing, luck, and a lot of hard work.